More than 800 residents in Malaysia's western state of Selangor have been evacuated following flash floods that hit parts of the area last night. This is the latest in a string of flooding incidents in the country amid election campaigning period. Malaysian Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has ordered all state disaster agencies to be on alert. Several districts in the state, including the cities of Klang and Shah Alam, are affected. Local media reported residents evacuating their homes as soon as water levels began to rise yesterday. 4 victims have been brought to safety after their 2-story terrace house was hit by a landslide. Mr. Ismail Sabri said all agencies should be in a full state of preparedness to act swiftly and ensure public safety. At least 7 temporary evacuation centres have been opened across the state. But even with water levels coming down, residents in Selangor still struggle with the aftermath. Analysts say heavy rain on polling day could influence voter turnout. Well, Malaysia will go to the polls in 2 days, and all eyes will be on the Borneo states of Sabah and Sarawak, which hold 25% of the total parliamentary seats. Well, young Yaakob, he joins us live now from Kota Kinabalu in Sabah. So, Yaakob, give us a sense of campaigning efforts in, Kingmakers Sabah and Sarawak so far.
Well, generally the mood, the electoral temperature and pace and intensity are a lot more muted here in the Borneo states of Sabah and Sarawak as compared to Peninsular Malaysia. Right now, I'm at a night market where a group of buskers are waiting for me to finish this live cross before they sing. And earlier, there's also a candidate from the ruling Gabungan Rakyat Sabah, a candidate who did her small walkabout at this night market. Earlier this afternoon, I also attended a small rally organised by the Democratic Action Party members who met voters. Now, generally, rallying and campaigning in Sabah are very, very small scale, but absolutely important and necessary for voters as well as their candidates. The thing is, there are many competing fronts here in Sabah. First, there's the ruling Gabungan Rakyat Sabah and Barisan Nasional Coalition. There's also the largest opposition party, Warisan. And then you've got the Pakatan Harapan bloc, who's also competing for seats here in Sabah. Now, the issue here is this. None of these competing fronts have held power long enough to prove what they have done or could do for Sabah due to party hopping and change in state governments. But over in neighbouring Sarawak, it's a different story altogether. The mood there is a lot more muted, but understandably so, because voters and analysts have told me that the ruling Gabungan Party Sarawak in Sarawak have done a great job in developing Sarawak as well as protecting the rights of Sarawak and Sarawakians. So many people more or less have an idea of whom to vote for without the need for much campaigning.
Now, Yaakob, if there is a hung parliament, the possibility of that is quite high. Who will the Borneo states be willing to back to form the federal government?
Well, let's just say that there are many suitors from Peninsular Malaysia. Some have made open courtships towards Borneo states of Sabah and Sarawak. And it's no big secret that if the GPS ruling coalition in Sarawak wins majority of the 31 seats there, then their natural choice is Barisan Nasional, given that they've been traditional allies, even though in an informal way. Here in Sabah, it's a lot more direct because the current Gabungan Rakyat Sabah coalition works directly with Barisan Nasional, and if they win majority of the 25 parliamentary seats here in Sabah, then naturally their support goes to Barisan Nasional. But in the words of political analysts whom I spoke to recently, there are no permanent friends nor enemies in politics, especially in Malaysia. We've seen how political allies have fallen out and gone separate ways. We've seen how political foes have cast aside the differences to work together. So while we expect Sabah and Sarawak to back coalition parties, the Barisan Nasional in Peninsular Malaysia, it's always wise to keep room for some surprises.
No surprises there. We'll let you go, Yaakob, so that the buskers can continue singing. Thanks for reporting to us live from Kota Kinabalu in Sabah.